Welcome to Just Us, the podcast where we explore the magic of nerdy living. I'm DNDWife, your artistic guide to all things geeky and wonderful.
And I'm DM Eguile, your seasoned storyteller and passionate gamer. Together we're here to share our adventures and insights into living a fulfilling nerdy life.
Each week we dive into topics like navigating relationships in a nerdy world, maximizing your RPG experiences in small spaces, and growing your own herbs and veggies on a tiny patio.
We'll also share our favorite hobbies, budget-friendly tips for having epic fun, and stories from our homebrew world of Extras.
Whether you're a fellow nerd, a tabletop enthusiast, or just looking for inspiration to pursue your passions, we've got something for you.
So grab your dice, your favorite snacks, and join us for a journey into the heart of nerdy living.
Tune in to Just Us, where love, creativity, and adventure are always on the agenda. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Just Us, where we let you in on a little snapshot of our nerdy lives as we go through our adventures. I'm your host, DNDWife, and with me is my co-host and dungeon master, Eguile.
How's it going, everyone?
Welcome. So first, I guess we got to note that we were incredibly sick this last week.
Yeah, that was a pretty crappy week, losing our voice and just trying to also balance work life and sick life. And
podcast
it was terrible.
Life.
Yeah, so we had to make that decision of prioritizing, health.
Well, it kind of got made for us when we lost our voices. We're just getting them back, so you can hear it a little bit. I don't know.
There might be a little ups and downs, but I think overall we're pretty good. We're back in good health.
Yeah. So,
but obviously, since we're back, and probably kind of fitting as there's usually a lot of superstitions about getting sick, but we have a convention coming up, which is always exciting. And as they always say, people tend to get sick during conventions. We tend to have a nasty habit of getting sick right before.
And then we're so exhausted and tired that it really kind of turns out to be not as much fun.
Yeah. and so this one's a pretty big, important one for us and for our area, since we live in California, is SacAnime.
Hell yeah.
And this is kind of a big deal for you and I in one way, as well as myself in another, which is really fun. And I think that's why we really kind of wanted to talk specifically about SacAnime and how important it is to us, and the fact that it kind of also coincidentally happens to be on the same weekend as our anniversary.
Yeah, which is super fun and just like the best nerdy kismet in my opinion.
Yeah, right. I think that's where it's like slightly hilarious, where it's like, what do you guys do on your anniversary? Well, we always go to an anime convention
for a whole weekend
because it's always during the same week that we have our anniversary. So we have a lot of plans, and hopefully some of you out there that listen to us will also be at SacAnime. Heck, we might incidentally run into each other. Who knows? Crazier things happen. But we really wanted to take time to kind of sit down and talk a little bit about our experiences. We had already talked a bit about our tips and tricks of going to it. But now we really want to kind of talk about the meat of SacAnime and why it's so important to us.
Yeah, and specifically this one, right? Because they do host multiple ones a year, and they're amazing. Don't get us wrong. But the what is this? The winter one?
It's technically the summer.
The summer one?
Yeah, they count this one as the summer.
Gotcha. The summer one is like the most important for us because of the date it lands.
Yeah, we've gone to a few winters. We've gone to some of the other ones during it was like rainy April and doing all that.
Was fun.
Right. It's just such a fun thing, but obviously trying to go to like every convention is not only expensive but pretty tasking time-wise.
It's tough. That's a lot of time. So you got to make sure it's worth it.
So for us, that's kind of why we chose SacAnime, as being kind of this one where it's like, hey, this is the one we go to. This is the one that we really can spend a lot of time at, because it's not a crazy travel. It's not close, but it's also not super far.
Right.
But so we've kind of, almost a year and a half ago, kind of made the decision to kind of make this our yearly tradition.
Yeah, it became such a fun experience. We really just wanted to keep it going, and everything for it's such a nice drive up as well. It just, the whole thing is a beautiful experience.
Yeah, and really it kind of tags on, like we were saying, with it being like our wedding anniversary, is like it adds that little extra nuance to it. So it's really kind of a fun time, and it's one of those activities too that you can go alone or with a group of friends.
Yeah.
And it doesn't ever really change the experience because we've gone just you and I, and we've also gone as a larger group with some of our D&D friends and players, and it really doesn't change the experience.
No, not really. I mean, besides obviously the different levels of intimacy, I suppose, right? But you're still in a crowd full of people, so those things are limited. So really, when you're with a bigger group of people, it's still just as fun, if not more fun, because you're sharing it with more people.
Yeah, and I always love, and I think SacAnime does a really good job too of like mixing a lot of different kind of genres and activities. Whether you like gaming, whether it's card gaming, video gaming. I mean, there's plenty of D&D representation throughout the convention, whether it's through vendors or players cosplaying. A lot of Critical Role fans out there. You see a lot of those kind of cosplays around, which is always fun to see kind of that intermixing. So it's really kind of an activity that we do together that kind of mixes kind of all our little nerdy niches. Yeah. I mean, I think you always look at like all the knitting and like the little...
the cool little crafts.
Right, like the crafts that you love because we have a lot of the same ones throughout our apartment.
The more unique, the better, because it's just so cool to be able to do something that's just different.
Yeah, and you would think, a lot of people would always go, especially if I tell coworkers where we do, and, the idea of like spending 3 whole days just kind of walking around a large place, they just kind of go, well, wait, you spent all this time waiting in line? Honestly, it goes by in a flash.
Oh, yeah. And you make friends in line, too.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really even feel like 3 days because there's so much that you want to experience, which is why we have so many memories that are kind of tied into going to SacAnime now. And every time we go, it's just more and more and more.
It just gets better and better, I think. I always love seeing what's new, what's coming up. And since the guests always change, there's always the potential to meet some of your favorite people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's always the gambit, too, is just, and I think it comes different, too, with different kinds of fans. So, like, we love anime, and we've talked about it in multiple Just Us, and we've shared a lot of our love, and some of the ones we prefer over others. But the biggest thing we always kind of are about is English dub. Say what you will. I know there's just as much justification for dub.
I like the Japanese sometimes too.
Right. But what it's nice about going to anime conventions is that if you are an English dub fan, there's a higher chance you're going to see your favorite dub actors and stuff like that because obviously they're here in the same country.
Right.
So it does make it nice when you are a fan like that extra niche that kind of comes into it because now it's like, oh, these are the voices.
Right.
I mean, the previous winter SacAnime, we got to meet Christopher Sabat, and that was just
amazing.
Right. And that's such a crazy part and an impact in my life and stuff to see that person. Whereas, if you happen to really love the Japanese dub,
it's tough.
You got to go to much larger conventions and hope. You got to go to Anime Expo where you're waiting with thousands.
Or you got to go overseas.
Yeah. And so that, or, go to like a Comic Con of either LA or New York kind of caliber
really
to get those kind of people. So really, I love SacAnime in that aspect for us because the tradition it created was, okay, well, here's all these animes we love. Now we can wait for when they're here and they're nearby and we can go together and we can build that together with each other.
And it's so much fun. We meet new friends there. We also get to really get involved with local artists and things like that because a lot of them are very local. There's a few that we see every now and then. They were like, oh, we remember you.
Yeah. And I mean, it's pretty crazy because, for me, I'm kind of the one that kind of brought us into going to SacAnime. And it was because I had gone to, I think, what was at the time the 3rd SacAnime ever. And this was back in, I think, 2009.
Oh, my God.
Right. Yeah, it sounds ancient. But this was when it was super small. I remember it was like the big voice actor was Crispin Freedman. If anyone remembers him from being like the original Vash and all like some of the older anime. He used to have a band called PLID that was a Depeche Mode cover band, and he was so
cool.
Right. And so it's like these crazy things that you can experience, and it was just in a hotel. I think it was like a Marriott, something small, and it was just in the courtyard. So it was like in the hotel's courtyard. courtyard.
Gotcha.
There was maybe 100 of us, but now it is done in the huge expo center. It has thousands of people, and it's so crazy to see that change. And when we first went, I just loved that you fell in love with it too, because
it was the best.
Even though it had grown, it felt just the same. Like it's not even about like the convention anymore. It's just about all these people coming together to have fun, to be in this group setting, and to just enjoy a love of, all things nerdy.
Yeah, anything that you can think of that has got a nerdy vibe, we got it.
I mean, speaking of all the different activities, I mean, we've also kind of tried to create different traditions as to like what we try to pack into kind of every convention, because honestly, I think no matter what, even if we tried to get the VIP package, which is its own thing. Yeah. But even if we tried to get that, I don't think there's enough time to really experience everything. So you got to kind of pick and choose your battles. And I think it's kind of fun. And, really it's for us, it's not only the convention, but also like the food options that we like to go to. Yes,
because it's not just about the convention. No. It's about the surrounding food, all the new restaurants you can try.
Right, because it's in downtown Sacramento, which is really nice in the fact that since it's in a business district, it's not like, its own exit like Superdome where there's not really anything nearby for parking. There's tons of restaurants. So Mojo's is one of our personal favorites, and that could be a potential where you might spot us because we tend to always go there at least once a trip. Because it's just a nice little way to start having kind of that convention mood. You have a couple of pints, and then you head into the convention center. Yeah. If you're 21.
If you're 21. But, it's always so much fun. I personally have also, I think it's a great opportunity going to these conventions to try new things or old things that you haven't had in a while.
The things you've been begging. And this year we are going to do it. We haven't been able to before.
I have been craving pupusas for like a year and a half at this point.
You might have to explain what those are.
They're these like Salvadorian stuffed like corn cake sort of things, pancake kind of things. They're delicious. They come with various toppings, various insides that are just so good and gooey.
We can't really get that at home. So when we're there, we just haven't.
I'm gonna learn how to cook them.
Right. But I just always feel bad because every time we try, either like the weather is bad or we are just so exhausted.
It's tough.
To where, you're drained and all you want to do is go home.
But we are making time this time around.
Right. And then not only that, but like, it's always nice to see all kind of the like convention food you can get. Now, mind you, we've talked about this. Do not get the nachos and the can of drink for like $80.
No, that's not fun.
But there are always tons of food vendors of traditional like Japanese snacks and treats.
Good. Oh.
If you can find them, the bagged ones where they have like multiple items in a bag are always the best deal.
They're so much fun.
You don't quite know what you're getting, but you are usually going to get more than what the actual value of the item is. But they go fast.
They do, so you gotta be fast.
We made the mistake last time of waiting till the end, because in most cases, waiting till the end, you can kind of barter with the vendors,
get a
little more of a discount because they don't want to take stuff home. Yeah. Not with the food vendors.
No.
You gotta go first. Fast, and then go put it in your car so you don't eat it. But it's really the only way to kind of keep it from being either sold out or kind of just the bare minimum, and really the bagged ones, the value packs are always the first to go.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just because they're like $20 a bag, like a large brown paper bag, but they have got so many snacks in them. They're so good.
Right. Yeah. And so, we also planned and like we talked about is we were going to pack a lot of our little side lunch and our little bagged goods and stuff like that, because it just makes it a little easier. But you always want to get a little something when you go to conventions, because it's really some of the unique foods and chips and candies you're not going to really find anywhere else.
Yeah, unless you have like a Sakura Co subscription, and those are expensive.
Right, like we kind of love it. It's going like a little mini culinary experience of various treats and snacks and sodas. And it is kind of that lasting effect, because, it's kind of nice when you get home and it's been a couple of weeks and you open one of the unique candies you got, and it kind of brings you right back to the, the convention effect and feel. But really, the food is obviously fun, but it is definitely not the most important this time around. Because
not this time around.
Oh man, there's a lot more, and it's one of those things where I'm already like, my knees and my legs are already aching because I know I'm going to be waiting in tons of lines.
Oh yeah, but it is going to be worth it because OMG, people, the lineup we have this year is
so good,
phenomenal.
When we first originally spoke about it, it was good. We were already really excited of getting to see certain people, but in the last few weeks, the announcements have been amazing.
It's just been fantastic. So not only are we getting to see your favorite,
Johnny Yong Bosch.
Of course, but we also get the additional honor, of course, of meeting Laura Bailey and Travis Willingham, of course.
Let's hope so, because, they're only going to be there for the week, for Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, I'm so hoping.
And I know it's going to make it crazy, but
I will stand in line all day.
Yeah, we're definitely hoping that we can at least, obviously, get their Funko's autographed. Yeah. And honestly, just getting to meet them is, I think, going to be an experience in and of its own.
Oh, yeah.
Besides kind of the other voice actors, because that one is iconic.
I would do anything to meet them.
It's half the reason you got into D&D was discovering their Critical Role stream.
Oh yeah, and of course they're our favorite couple. We just love them. So.
Yeah, there are other married couple playing D&D.
No offense to Matt and Marisha at all.
That's true, right?
At all, I like them too. I don't know.
But the Willinghams, but really, it's gonna lead to some real kind of probably long lines, and we'll definitely be probably sharing a lot of that information on our post, convention podcast episode. But
yep.
It's definitely those situations that make it super worth it, because you never know, who could end up being like the next guest at a convention. Yeah. We even have all the original Disney princesses. There's going to be the entire cast of Hell of a Boss.
Oh yeah.
So we're really going to be balancing back and forth and probably getting to know a lot of our fellow line mates as we're going to be waiting in line. Yeah. So definitely keep an eye out, because we're going to try to post a lot of the different kind of shorts and stuff while we're there. So if you're not able to go and attend, you might be able to see a little bit and feel like you're there. From the couple of nerds perspective. But really, the other thing too is that even it's going to be hard, because as much as I want to see and get these signatures, I want to look at everything.
True.
I want to go through. Around. I think we walk at least 4 or 5 times through the entire place. And we're still learning. We got this nice 2020 special edition Shenron, but then I think finding after walking a third or fourth time, we found one that was a good $15-$20 cheaper.
Yeah, we could have gotten it just a little cheaper.
So we're always really learning from our mistakes and adding to the next time, where it's like, okay, here's what we're going to make sure we do. Points. We're going to look at everything. We're going to make sure we're going to take pictures of prices this time.
We're leveling up in convention going.
Yeah, right. We're going to bring like a pad of paper and track and keep track of vendor locations, numbers, so we can find the vendors that we're looking for. But really, that's always the like one of the main parts that I enjoy is going through the artist gallery.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
Right, you love kind of going through. A lot of it is
an artist, I just love seeing all the unique, different ways that people do
as much
things.
as I love a lot of the artist interpretations of some of these characters. I tend to like more of like the more unusual art instead of just like the kind of wall scrolls.
Yeah,
I like more of like the keychains and the stickers and the little plushies and stuff like that. And the figurines we've now started getting into a little bit, which is probably going to end up becoming another addiction of yours.
Yeah, I've got a few already. So,
but it is kind of cool, because this is kind of the one time a year where you can go and see a lot of these products, a lot of these materials that you really wouldn't be able to see physically, because you'd either be buying it online.
Yeah, that'd be a lot more expensive online.
Right, and so it's really kind of nice. Now, obviously, conventions aren't the best place to save money.
Yeah.
The most place of losing it.
But it is fun, especially if you've set up a pre-made fund for yourself and you're prepared. You can easily go in there and just have a great time and get yourself some goodies too. So that's super fun.
Yeah, and for us is we're not really like big panel people though. We go to a few every now and then, but we're mostly there for kind of the artists and
the guests and the
voice actors and stuff like that, and the goodies. But it really, there's so much that can be put into it. I mean, another thing is we ourselves don't cosplay. We quite don't
I might try, but it's tough to have time.
That's another hurdle for another day for me. I have enough just cosplaying as myself on a daily basis. Right. But it is that nice thing to see too, and I think a lot of it is we are massive introverts, and people watching is quite entertaining.
Yeah,
and it's a lot more entertaining when you see all these different outfits and cosplays, and you try to guess who they are or what rendition they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think you've caught a couple of photos with some of the cosplayers.
It's so cool.
The ones that particularly stand out.
Yeah, shout out to my Critical Role Fern from last year.
Yeah, her shoes were cool.
They were dope.
It was a cool way to create the illusion that she was on hooves.
It was the best.
But yeah, it's just, and so it's just this whole fun and really, there's activities for all ages, really, because of the idea that there's so much going on.
Yeah.
A few of my coworkers are trying to hopefully convince their families to attend as well. So that will be pretty interesting to see. And for us always, too, is we kind of make it our personal kind of little Where's Waldo to look for D&D specific stuff.
Oh yeah,
so we kind of it's the kind of the big thing, and it's everything from like a small little vendor that might sell a few little pieces here and there to someone that actually has like full on 3D printed equipment all over the place. And we just kind of like to see who we can spot and see who are the kind of D&D people and kind of strike up conversations with people and kind of connect in that way, especially when you're going to be waiting in line for like 8 hours with someone.
And it's a lot easier now that they've added that whole other gaming section. It's made it so much easier to set up different different role-playing games,
right?
Card games. They have all sorts of things in there, including D&D.
Yeah, and we're trying something special this year. We're trying to step out as ourselves in a couple of Nerds productions, and hopefully going to be handing out some of our business cards out to people out there that we've created. They're both functional and useful.
Absolutely. They are going to be reusable so that you can use the back as a little mini character cheat sheet. So it's going to be really fun. So if you see us out there, you be sure to flag us down and we'll go ahead and hand those out.
Yeah, now obviously it's going to be a little hard to figure us out, but that's going to be part of the kind of, I think, strategy. But really, just, what we encourage is just converse about D&D with everyone around you. Eventually you might find us and have us join that conversation.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where we know we're not, we're not up in any way, shape, or form the most listened to people on earth. But we do kind of know, who we are and what we represent, and we also know that our listeners are kind of the same as us. Yeah. And so if you happen to be at SacAnime, please hit us up. Let us know on our YouTube or on the Discord. That way we can potentially link up and connect and just, if anything, just to say hi in person. That's always kind of nice.
I'm thinking of wearing some purple little cat ears, so be on the lookout for those maybe.
But I mean, obviously, as we've already kind of talked about, we have some clear guests that we're after that we've already collected various things. Now, one of the main kind of tips that we ran into this last trip that really kind of hit us pretty is that you want to have your materials before you go. Anything you want to have signed or anything you want to have autographed or whatever, buy it beforehand.
Especially if it's a figurine. If you are trying to buy a figurine that you are also trying to get signed that same weekend, guaranteed it's going to be more expensive and you're going to have a harder time finding and getting one.
Not only that, but then you do like embarrassing things where like you want to get the signature from the voice actor of Gohan, but then you grab the wrong Gohan.
Yeah.
And so you have Kid Gohan, which this guy wasn't. So
that was fun.
Yeah, that kind of was a missed opportunity that we could have had, and we felt bad kind of missing out on that. So we're like, all right, from now on, we got to make sure we have the items that we want to take with us
we
first.
come prepared now.
So that way we know, right? Yeah. We know. And so, that's going to be big, but really what to sign, because obviously with Laura and Travis, I think you and I are kind of on this fence of, we have the Funkos that we got. And
we have the Grog Funko and the Vexalia Funko.
And we have the first edition ones. Yeah. And we even have the special Voxalia Witch edition.
Yep, which is the one we're going to get signed.
And that's, right. But at the same time, I know you and I are trying to figure out whether we want them to sign like our dice trays or something D&D related specifically, personal. Right? get that kind of mojo. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
might pay for extra.
Right, for the dice tray, because that's just, I don't know. There's something, about that where it's like, if I can play with something.
Totally fangirling over here, and I don't care. I don't care.
Yeah, if you could see her right now with her hands clutched to her chest. But really I think the craziest thing too, and it really hit home when we met Christopher Sabat, right, is like, after we got close enough to where you can start hearing them talk.
Oh yeah.
It's like a whole changing experience. So I don't know what's going to happen to me when we meet Travis and Laura.
That one's I don't trust myself.
That one's going to be a really tough one, I think, for me, because of how impactful that is. So we'll have to definitely give an update as to how awful we go cringe and lock up and can't talk.
We'll take a lot of deep breaths.
Yeah, because I mean, I was pretty winded by the end of the Christopher Sabat one, just because I was so in just shock and awe when that happened, right? And like, so we'll definitely have to give an update, and we'll see what happens.
Gotta control ourselves.
Meaning, and it was really funny because the biggest one we were really looking forward to was Johnny Yong Bosch. And the funny thing was, I mean, obviously we had talked in a previous of you watching Bleach and getting caught up.
That was amazing. I am all caught up now.
And what's even funnier is I just had you recently with us together watch the Power Ranger original movies.
Yeah,
which
with him in them.
In Turbo is so Johnny Yong Bosch as the Green Ranger. Which you were like, wait, this sounds familiar, and it's like, this was his first job.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see when you kind of realize just like how much this guy has been into my childhood. So it's going to be really cool to meet this person and get to kind of, at least speak to them for, a few minutes, but it's always nice.
But it's always fun.
And getting the signatures, and like for us is we're not about reselling. It's more about now we have these memories that will be with us forever, especially in these signatures that we save. And I mean, it not only creates a great memory for obviously us and the actor, but it's just a great memory between you and I.
Oh, yeah. And I am super excited because the figurine that we got for Ichigo for Johnny Yong Bosch to sign, we actually won in our latest little day trip to Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
We won it at the arcades because we finally got enough points, and it was super fun.
Earned enough tickets.
Yeah. So it's just like memory upon memory piled on.
Yeah, and it's not just that, obviously the big ones. I think the voice actor for SpongeBob's going to be there.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big one.
So fun.
There's a lot from Jujutsu Kaisen, which I know you're excited about.
I'm super excited.
I think the Disney Princesses is going to be a very interesting one.
They just revealed that Jodie Benson is going to be the main princess.
Yeah,
and I'm so excited.
So we'll definitely have a lot to update and share because it's really kind of nice. And I think what's going to be beneficial in ours is that there are so many big people that I think it's going to spread out the lines.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, how some of these voice actors and their assistants operate their lines and balancing between VIP, just God, I could spend an entire podcast complaining about the way Sabat's team operated the VIPs
versus Amelie's team that was just running people through, but in a really professional, good way.
One normal, one VIP, one normal, not the entirety of the VIP,
or two VIP and then one normal, but not all the VIP line and then one normal, and then the VIP line builds up again, so we got to go through that again, and then just one normal.
Oh man, I know, but this year's lineup is just I really think kind of insane in terms of the spread of quality and
so
really showing exactly how SacAnime has become this all-inclusive thing where it's hey, you like D&D, you like tabletop, you like this, you like anime, games. You like drawing, you like this, you like plushies, you just like dressing up, you want to just have fun, you come on down. So I think it's going to be real exciting. It's going to be here in 11 more days. 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm so excited.
I know we got a D&D, we have a 12-hour D&D session
coming right
the weekend
up.
Before, and then we're going to go 3 days straight to the convention.
Oh, it's the best gauntlet
definitely
ever.
going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a nerdy, jam-packed next couple weeks.
So you have any final thoughts, any hopefuls? Obviously right now we're full of energy, and I know after the end of that weekend we're not going to be. So it's at least we got the sickness out of our systems.
Yeah, I think that it was best to get sick beforehand and get over it than, be sick during. That would be awful.
Nothing worse in a convention than already being sick on top of being crowded and dealing with the smells of a convention.
Right. But honestly, my biggest hope is just that we get to meet everyone that we want.
Yeah, I mean, right, like, we're gonna get our snacks and we're gonna have our meal, like that's always gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
But there's always the gambit when it comes to trying to meet your favorite voice actors. I remember when I think it was the first time you and I went and you wanted to meet Mike Judge. The voice of Kratos, but you wanted to speak to him because of Stargate.
Yeah, because I watched Stargate SG-1 as a kid, and I still watch it. It is amazing. I love that show, and I wanted to meet him so bad.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is he got sick.
Yeah.
Remember? And so we went to go meet him, but then they kind of shut it down because he wasn't feeling well. Yeah. So, like, you never know what might happen. So you just got to kind of come in enthusiastic and just also enjoy the moment. Yeah. You get to speak, you get to see your favorite actors. That's cool. But at the end of the day, it's about coming together and having fun and being together.
The camaraderie.
So really, it isn't just the event for you and me. It's for everyone. And it reminds us all how much we love, anime, video games, D&D, and all that good stuff.
The best part isn't just sharing it with you, it's sharing it with all the awesome nerds out there as well.
Yeah, and as introverts, it's that nice thing, because the one thing I'll end on, and this is one of the biggest reasons, and I stress this on you, is that it's such a great environment. Because we're all together, and when you get a bunch of nerds together, it's so funny. You will have arguments over who's the best, magical girl, but you're not going to have someone robbing you, stealing from you, having to deal with violence or anything aggression. No, because everyone's there for the same cause. The safety and security at SacAnime is so top notch. There have been medical emergencies that we've been witness to that are handled excellently, that are handled as fast as basically humanly possible in crowds of thousands. And so just going, we can go, we can show up, and we can put a little bit of the worriness of the real world on the back burner and just enjoy the weekend and hopefully get to meet the Willinghams, because that is definitely the biggest goal right now, and is going to probably kill my ankles and knees. I don't care. It'll be worth.
We're gonna get chair things.
It'll be worth every penny, because that's just something where I feel is an opportunity that it comes in once in a lifetime.
Absolutely. But thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And if you have something to say, you'd like to comment or let us know something we should check out, let us know in the Couple of Nerds Discord. We'd love to have your thoughts and ideas, and you also get to have connections with us.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be headed to SacAnime, please let us know too. That way we can all kind of meet up a little bit and meet face to face. But also always keep an eye on the Couple of Nerds Productions YouTube page, because that's where we're going to be putting out more of the conventions, more shorts of our interactions, the various things that we find, and that way, if you want to get a little inside look and kind of see how successful we are at our goal of getting all the signatures we want and meeting all the guests.
Excited.
So you can have an opportunity to meet some of these voice actors with us as we go through the lines and wait. But thank you once again, and hopefully we'll see you there.
Absolutely. Stay nerdy.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Just Us. We hope you enjoyed diving into our nerdy world and picked up some tips for your own adventures.
We'd love to hear about your own nerdy hobbies and see your unique living spaces. Connect with us on a Couple of Nerds Discord. Share your stories, photos, and join the conversation with fellow nerds.
And don't forget to check out our Couple of Nerds YouTube channel. We post videos showcasing the hobbies, crafts, and small living space innovations we cover in each episode.
Whether it's painting miniatures, growing a garden on your balcony, or setting up the perfect RPG space in your apartment, we've got plenty of inspiration and tips to share.
Subscribe, like, and comment on our videos, and stay connected with us through all our adventures.
Until next time, keep embracing your inner nerd and living your best geeky life.
Thanks for listening to Just Us, where we come together in nerdy harmony.